Right, welcome guys. Round three of the Plaatje round robin. Few interesting games that we have now. In the third round, we have uh, Mr. Alfred Pesa playing white against Daniel Pondo, Kolani Matabula playing white against Lisa Sukwati, and board three, Tato Applegreen against Candid Master Keith Kumalo. Few interesting results from round two. Daniel Pondo against Tato Applegreen drawing. Kennedy Master Keith Kumalo showing us that he means business in this tournament. Beating Polani Matabula there, round two, and then Lisa Sukwati also surprising us there with a win against Mr. Alfred Piesa. So we're looking forward to round three, and the guys are underway. Let's have a look at the games quickly. Okay, so now we can see there. Welcome, Sumisi. I think is the first E4 in the tournament thus far, unless I'm mistaken. Few quick moves here between Kolani and Liso. These guys know each other quite well. Obviously, also E4 going in Sicilian hands here. And yeah, already in on move 8. And then wanted to see what Keith is playing against Tato. Tato opting for D4. And that's as it stands currently. Right, so do we have Uzumisi? Not yet. Okay. Right, so yeah, only the two boards currently. On the screen. Also waiting for my co-commentator, Mr. Amasa there. Yeah, so quite interesting position here. We have Lizo there. Next move. So all the expected opening moves there. Yes, Mr. Vuzimisi. Mr. Vuzimisi, can you hear us? Vusi seems to have some technical difficulties there. So interesting position there on board 3. We're not sure what the situation. Okay. Game is underway there between Mr. Pesa and Daniel Pondo. Guys also seem to be going into Sicilian lines. E4, C5, F, knight F3, G6, C3, D5. Daniel Pondo against Mr. Pesa. Hey, so, I'm just trying to share the games here. All right, I think the environment's telling us that way. Mr. Vuzimusi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us now? Thanks, Warren. Okay, White's going with F4 very early. Black hasn't castled yet. That A1, H8 diagonal being controlled by that black squared bishop there. But to attack here on the king side with a pawn storm and in position it's in this opening it's normally counterplay that black has on the queen side and white's king side pawn storm.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wayne. Hello.
I'm back, Mr. Ramasa. Okay, so this game that we're watching here, Prolani and Lizo, is closed. So the other one is hyper accelerated dragon. Quite risky.
Can you hear me?
Black, for black. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear us? Hi, can you hear me?
You keep breaking up. You keep breaking up. I think it's probably your network. Oh, is it my network?
So now I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I keep struggling on hearing you. So I think probably it's the network that's been giving us these technical problems. But I can hear you now, loud and clear. Can you hear me on your side?
From my side, I can hear you very, very clear. Um, but as I was saying, there you gone now again. Could also be network side. Can you still hear me?
So what do we have here?
Ramasa, can you hear me?
Knight to f6.
Can you hear me, Ramase?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Crystal, I can hear you crystal clear.
Okay, so I think there might have been an issue with my audio or the network. Yeah, this one between Krolani and Lizo, I think it's um, the closest Sicilian that they started with.
Mm.
Can I just I'll just share the opening moves. Let me just.
No, I follow. I can follow this game from another tab, so I can actually go through tabs and just go in and
Oh,
out of
okay.
tabs and actually see the game. Like I just seen they played. Yeah, it's the
Close,
close Sicilian. Yes.
close to Sicilian now. Okay.
So I think now Black is not in any intentions of castling, so he's probably gonna leave his king on the center with that move on knight f6. I don't know what's the actual intention of that. Maybe the double pawns. Okay, yeah, but that bishop on b2 can actually retake when
Yeah. No.
if whether white wants to exchange the bishop for knight. But I think he's going to have
Yes.
an open file on the g file. And black can have a nice attack. The king on g1 can actually come under fire because that h pawn Harry the h pawn has already been extended also, so it can also be one of the factors that help black in
Yeah. I
attacking the
don't.
white king.
Yes. Yeah. In the close Sicilian, once you play c6, a knight c6 and f4, it's already stopped. So this. Yeah, the knight on f. I don't see many problems for black in this. King h1. Yeah. It's the normal
They
opening
call it
lines.
a,
This,
a prophylactic move.
yes, this king will black's king will just already on move 16, so you're close to middle game. So the king will just you know it's pointless to castle. It's not a good idea to castle. But the king will be centralized, and yeah, the pawn storm from white side, I don't see it as much of a threat to black.
Mm, 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 mm. And I can also white if ever white exchanges the dark square bishop, I think it's going to have a dark square problems. Um,
In theory, yeah, that's it's not. Sorry, can you hear me?
this game is
Yeah, no, can you? I'm not sure if you can hear me, or do I have audio problems again? Oh, Queen A6. Ramasa, can you hear me?
yeah, I need to be somewhere in. Can I return after 30 minutes or so, please? I need to
Can you
urgently
can
run
you
to
hear me?
somewhere else. Yeah, I can hear you. I said, can I need to go somewhere. I'll
Oh,
return maybe after 30 minutes or so. Yeah, I have some
okay,
errand
no,
that I urgently need to run. So I'll catch you up
yes, no,
after
no,
let's say 3 o'clock or so.
no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Right, so we've seen, yeah, this is Queen A6 from black, threatening the A pawn. Um, only way that white can defend that pawn is with it's um, impossible, basically, because the rook can't move to A1. The bishop's this bishop that's like a dragon bishop. black squared bishop is just, you know, bearing down on that a1 h8 diagonal. Yeah, so I see white's position falling to pieces once this a2 pawn is captured. Yeah, as I said earlier on, in the closest salient, knight c6 in and comes. The pawn storm needs to be on point. One mistake from either side, the game falls to pieces. Let's see if white can come with a proper counter. But yeah, from this view, there's not much I can see. Let me just have a look at the other games while we wait for Lizo, for Kolani to make his 17th move. Okay, so as we can see here, it's the pace of playing bishop to d7 there, 10th move, and for black's counter there, for white's counter. And it seems like the guys for this round they all planned on e4. And then the third game between and Tato. Welcome back, Mr. Vuzumisi. There we see bishop to g3. And you just go through the move order. And followed by knight bishop g3. Right. Black has some good counterplay on the queen side. Mr. Zumisi, can you hear us, or you left us again? Mr. Zumisi has left us again there. Okay, so let's stay with one of the games here. We're waiting for Lisa to make his move. This is way in advance. So after queen a6, this is where it is currently, and yeah, I see the clock stopped. Sure what happened there, what the setup is. Just Is there, guys? I seem to have had some network issues. So, Missy, your network issues also sorted, I see. Okay, it seems that both of us had some network issues there. Okay. So we see there Kalani moving knight, beg your pardon, Lizo playing knight to e5. So Musi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me? Hello.
Welcome back. How are you today?
Thank you so much. Um, doing all right. How are you guys doing?
All good. All good. There's a few interesting games here. As we see there, Kalani pushing f6. What's your take on that?
Oh, oh wow! It seems we were on the way to try go for something here, but I don't see much for him after e6 here.
Yeah. I think black is, from my side, I would prefer to play black here in this position.
Yeah, I think strategically black is white is lost here.
I can't seem to hear you properly. I don't know if it's the audio on my side.
I think it could be on my side. I was saying strategically, I think white is lost here.
You think white is better? Oh,
No, I think black is winning. White is lost.
okay. So we agree there on that. Um, is
Yes.
there knight takes f3?
Uh, White can go root takes here,
What's
but
best?
there's nothing much
Bishop
for white.
or rook takes?
I think root takes is better.
Um, I was gonna ask, is that a blunder? Because it showed on my side, it showed the rook f2.
I can hear you.
No, I'm saying it showed rook f2. I was gonna ask now if it's a blunder, but yeah, it's just the delay. Instead of rook f2, it showed
Oh yeah,
rook f3 takes f3. It showed rook f2.
yeah, yeah. You can't play rook f2 there. Just lost.
Okay, so now
I think now 95 is the natural way to go on. But white is rook f3.
let me just see if I can, because I can't hear you properly. There's a lot of echo. So let me just see if I reconnect. Maybe it's from my
Uh,
side.
okay, please check. Okay, so guys, yeah, like seems to be much better.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, as we saw with that game of Mr. My apologies there, guys. Network seems to be a problem here. Yeah, Queen takes d5 is probably the best move in the situation. Yeah, yeah, that's what Mr. Piesa is doing there. Okay, these guys played the hyper accelerated dragon variation. Um, uh, from what I can remember, I think knight f, rook f to d8 is the next. Wow, bishop f5. See bishop f5 here. Okay, and that's advantage. A bit of advantage. 94 is now uh, probably the best move in that situation. Do we have Mr. Vuzumisi back? Not yet. Okay. Has a very equal on with regards to uh, clock here time. Yeah, and it seems like Mr. Pesa has played knight e4. Yes. All right. So that is the move that was expected to be played there. Knight e4. Wow, bishop takes. Instead of queen d8, bishop takes. Not sure if that's the best turn there. Bishop takes. And now I think the best is rook a e8. Unless black decides to play knight b4. But I think the best move for black in this situation is rook a to e8. Trying to draw that open e file. This guy's going to take the time there with that one. So let's see. If rook a to e8, then white will just double up rooks rook a to e1. And rook takes, then best for the other rook to go to d8. Queen b5, that's good. So I wouldn't recommend knight b4. Should white knight b4, it won't be much of an advantage to you. Apologies for the screen sharing. I always seem to have a problem with that, so I don't know how you're gonna go around that. Not being the host. But hopefully we can. That's something we can work on during this COVID-19 pandemic. That we, while we're doing this online commentating, etc. This is something new for most of us as well. So, yeah, if you have any ideas, you can also, let us know. All right. So instead of rook a to e, black opts for rook f to e8. Right, and black follows with rook a to e1. Rook takes. I'm sure rook's also going to take, and that should be with rook a to d8. Okay, so it's still very equal. Yeah, rook a to d8. Right. So now best move for white, I think, is queen to b5. Pairs are preparing. Yep, and that is the exact move, queen to b5. Best move in that position. Will black play king to g7 here, or will protect the b pawn? So let's see if black's going to play king to g7 or queen to d6. So Zumisi, are you back? Only three options I see is king g7, queen d6, or rook d6. So Zumisi, can you hear us?
Hello, Rain. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
now
I
I can
can
hear
hear
you
you
much
guys.
better.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Good. Which game is this?
This is Mr. Pesa against Daniel Pondo. I'm not sure if that was the best move. Six. Because I think now, I think A3 or H4. Even H3. We most probably hear one of A or H, but one of the flank points being moved now.
Yeah, A3 seems alright to step the 9. And maybe you can trade queens after that with queen c5. Not
Yeah,
c4.
H4. There we go.
Yeah.
So now after H4, I think H5 is forced.
H5 makes a lot of sense. There's knight g5. I don't think black would like that very much.
All right, let's see what Lizo decides. What about queen d6 or even h6?
H5 is
Can't
coming
play
in
knight.
for white as well. So I think
I don't think that knight to e5 because now he's actually losing the knight there. I can't. Okay, I'm not sure you meant knight. Which knight move? Or if I understood.
can you please repeat, Dwayne?
I can't hear you, Mr. Um, yeah, but the best options I see here for black is either h5, h6, or queen d6.
I
King
played
g7.
King G7.
Yes, I was expecting that 2-3 moves
Yes.
ago. Uh,
I don't know if he,
I think I think h5 is the best move. Yeah.
yes, H5 is possible. Uh,
Somehow King g7 was supposed to be played once queen went to b5. I think that b6 move was giving away a tempo. King g7 should have been played immediately, or queen d6. But let's see what Mr. Pisa decides to do. Yeah, Mr. Pisa always full of surprises. Um, yeah, but I think h5 definitely the best move. Um, or will we see now? Or queen c4? So let me see. Oh, joining us again.
yes. I was saying, I don't know if G3 is another possibility here. I know the knight on F3 is hanging, but you and you have rook F4 coming.
Mm. Wow, knight g5. It doesn't look too good. I think that gives advantage to black or equalize things basically because now queen d6 or rook c8, knight e7. Yeah, I think the advantage that white had is basically gone now, in a sense, when not playing h5 immediately.
Meneer, ek is terug.
Right, so we're expecting some guests to join us later during this round three. Right, so now we're moving to the game of Tato Apple Cream and Keith, Canadian Master Keith Kumalo. Right, Canadian Master Keith Kumalo, very good friend of the one of the guests that's joining us here later, Mr. Banele Mhango. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
It's
File
actually it's
Master
actually
Banele Mhango.
it's actually Mhango.
But
It's
Mhango,
actually pronounced Mhango. Yeah, Mhango. Mhango. The H is almost silent.
Mhango. Oh, welcome back, Mhango. All right, welcome back, my esteemed friend. uh, how old is Mr.
So
Mhango now? 16?
I'm not sure. Is it 16, 17? Somewhere he's still in high school,
He
right?
was
Or
born
is he done with high
2003.
school?
I think he's 18 this year.
Oh, it's 8. He's 18 this year.
He's, yeah, he's turning 18 this
So
year. He was born.
he's still relatively young. But
I don't know if it's
as he's
my audio, but I seem to have trouble hearing you guys.
I'm also struggling to hear you on my part. So I think it's probably the isn't it your network, because my network is perfect. It's perfect. It's on 4G plus. So I think it's probably something wrong with your audio. Can you hear me? Mr. Waynes.
My apologies there. I just disappeared from StreamYard. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Crystal.
Hello, guys.
Away.
How's it going?
Good, 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 good. Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Vusi Muzi Mlahleki, from Gauteng.
Yes, I can hear. Um, yeah, I seem to have an unstable internet connection. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I can hear. I could hear you. Now I'm trying to send a text here, but it's still.
Vusmus, welcome, man. White just played queen to c1. As you can see, black is a pawn up. Black is a pawn up, and it's knight versus bishop game. And white king is a little bit suffocated there at the back on f1. So I think the best move here, or rather the best strategy to go about this white is to just free your king. It's either you put that h6 pawn and just free your king, so you can be bank rank mated. So I don't know what happened to Mr. Waynes and Vusmus. So, and I'm not sure if I'm audible enough.
This is a game leader against Solani. Solani playing the white and bison.
Uh, we are back. What's black is a pawn up, that a pawn that was captured earlier on. Right now, rook to e7. Black plan on doubling up rooks. Be interesting to see. Um, right, so maybe we can this position. So what's and now from this position, it's clear that black is leading. Black is an advantage. Uh, I'm just wondering why, for in order for white to at least equalize, not equalize, but to have a better open d file or something. Might be to capture the knight on e5, therefore creating double pawns on the e file for black. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, National Lottery Commission. It's possible the third episode, the third version of the Soul Plaatje Round Robin 2021. Okay, so black is taking his time here. It's for 15 minutes ahead on time, so he can take enough, can, quite some time contemplating this move. Yes, and then on board 3, we seem to have a Cannon Master Keith Kumalo up against Tato Apple Green there. Creating problems there for white in the center of the board. Right, so Lee responds with pawn to h4. Does white take or simply move g4? Right, so what we're looking at here is white simply declining, taking h4 and pushing on with g4. And that was followed by rook f6, bishop to a7, and rook a. My screen. I have a problem with the screen share there, so let me rather stop screen share. Okay, I see Mr. Vuzimusi is there, back with us. Seem to have we seem to have problems today with the networks here. There, it's gone again. Right, so now we're looking at Kulani here and Lizo. Okay, with the bishop being threatened there with rook a8, bishop retreating to e3. From my view, I'm not sure. I was expecting doubling up of rooks, and because that bishop is safe. Should white have played a rook A to C2, unless I missed something. Right, so now rook goes back to B8. Will the bishop go back to A7? Right, so we have a result there with Kennedy. I think what no result. It looked like the guys were shaking hands, so um, obviously mistaken. But from the position earlier on, it's a clear win for black from my point of view. This game, though, things still very um, active. Stage now, black 2 pawns up. And also, there's no way that I can see white coming around this. Right, so bishop back to A7. Black might have to try something else because he's 2 pawns up, and white wouldn't mind a draw in this position, being, down 2 pawns. Oh, seems like Lizo is also looking for a draw. Polani going back to A7, or bishop A7 uh, will definitely be the writing on the wall with draw by repetition. Yeah. See if the pieces are on the same squares. Okay, we have a rook F6 there. Yeah. I think on there we go. There's a draw by repetition between Kulani and Lizo. I think Lizo gave it away there. He's definitely winning in this position. Okay, Warren, can you take us to the last board? It's let me just see there with the results. Is the game between Mr. PSA and Daniel also reach a conclusion? Apologies there. Network seem to be kicking out here. Yeah, so there's a draw between Pulani Matubula and Lisa Sukati. Somehow I feel that Lisa are leading with 2 points. David away there in the end game, but yeah, we'll hear his thoughts about it later on. Mr. Wuzimisi, are you still with us?
Uh, Hello, Wayne. Yes, I'm still with you.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that end game there between Polani and Lizo?
Is it the one
Throw
you're
by
looking at
repetition.
now?
Do you think that was necessary? Yes.
Uh, well, it's definitely not necessary, but seems like a fair result to me.
I think White is winning there. Okay, so now to go back to the last, I think it's the last one, last. I can't seem to hear you properly. I think my
I was
network
saying,
is.
which game is this now, Wayne?
Okay, this one here that we're looking at is between Mr. Pesa and Daniel Pondo. I actually thought it's finished already because I could only see the Keith and Tato there playing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So is
this
this now
is
a Keith and Plaatje game?
Mr. Pesa has been playing throughout the story. Uh, I can't
It
hear,
seems,
or I don't know if it's my audio, but I can't hear anything that you're saying, Sumizi.
it seems like White is much better here. The black team is not so safe. Uh, and the white weakness on P3 is not so easy to attack. So I'm with White here. What's your take on it, Wayne?
Okay. Okay. You think Mr. Pesa is better in this position? Yeah.
Yes, and the mate threat is with Queen G8 and Rook F8. Uh, Hello, Wayne. So guys, we've lost Wayne. Seems like White is winning here. The only defense I can see is Knight E7, stopping Queen G8, and goes on.
Hello,
Hello?
Husmus.
Yes.
Have you been alone? Have you been alone in this space? Because the network has been a little bit. I don't want to say a word. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yes, yes, I understand. What's your take on this position?
So, which who's playing here? Is it all? Yeah, Mr. Pesa versus Daniel Pondo, and Mr.
Yes,
Pesa is obviously white. And with this move on B4, Queen B4, B3 rather, he's threatening
yes.
that rook to G8 check,
Yes.
rook to G8
The
check.
only
So
way
Black
I see
will be trying
no, no, no.
to stop that, or maybe having a counter attack move, but I don't think that Black's pieces are that active enough to have a counter attack in this position. So
I
let's
think
check the
queen g8.
pawns. The pawns are almost identical. They're almost.
I think queen g8 there is the actual threat. You wanna go queen g8 and rook f8.
Yeah, the pawns are almost symmetrical
Can you hear me?
for white and black.
Can you hear me?
Queen g8 is it's more quicker.
Yeah, queen g8 you have mating threats there.
Queen g8 is more quicker in accelerating the attack.
Yes. The idea is queen g8 followed by rook f8.
Mm. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
So what's your take on the tournament up to so far? Because we it seems like there's a lag in our connection. Seems like there's this constant lag in our connection because you hear me 5 seconds after I said something.
Yes, that's true. I only hear you like 5 seconds later. Uh, I have issues with my network, and I'm sure you also have issues with your network as well. And back
It's like
to
we are
the
living in two
question,
different
taking
time zones. Like, what's your take
yes,
on the tournament so far? Because yesterday when we kickstarted, we only have something like one win and two draws, and today we have couple of wins. So what's your take on this tournament so far? And I'm wondering what's the overall rating of this tournament with everybody. I think the average rating is I think it's something like 1700 plus if we take the overall ratings of all the players in here. So quite actually a decent tournament to think about it.
yes. It's a very decent tournament so far, and I think it's pretty interesting. I was expecting it to be on full score by now, but then he threw the first game, so that's a surprise for me. But overall, I think the players are well prepared, especially the Northern Cape players. Keep not so prepared because it is first OTB tournament in a long time. But yeah, the tournament is very interesting.
So are you a player yourself? Are you a tournament player or you just play maybe in your personal capacity?
Well, I used to be a tournament player before the pandemic, but now I don't play as much because there aren't any tournaments now. But hopefully, when things go back to normal, I'll get back to playing.
Mm.
Yourself? Are you a player?
So what's your chess club? Where are you from and where are you? No. I'm just a chess scholar. I love the game. I love the history of the game. I think I've read more of the chess stories and the chess historical aspect of it, the historical aspect of the chess culture instead of the game itself. But I think if I could have like maybe started learning the actual games that they were played since the time of Morphe up until now, like I could have been a decent player. But tournaments, nah. I just play on my personal capacity and online. Oopsie, seems like we've lost our our co-host there. So anyway, white is threatening G8, either with the queen or the rook, but I think the queen will be more effective, trying to eliminate the squares that black can go to. And after queen G8, I think the F7 square will be the actual square that the king can go to. So what's your follow up? Queen G8, King King F7, King F6, Queen H8, then King F7, then Rook F8, uh, Rook F, Queen 7 check, B7. But there are actually two squares that the king can go to is the f7 and the f6 square. So I'm trying to look at the more safest square that black can go to. After queen g8, black can go to f6 and f7. But I think the f7 square is not the safest. The f6 square is the safest. But then again, the f6 square is the safest because you can when it goes with queen to g to h8 check, giving a check, then you can block with the rook, and he can check you with the rook on e7 because both the knight and the queen are protecting the e7 square. So it's a threat in a sense that it kind of penetrates the back side of black, but in actual sense, it's not actually a threat.
Hello.
I can see that you're back, Vismus.
I had network issues. I'm back now.
Yeah, and actually, in like when we started the rounds today, this morning, the network was working just almost ideally, but now it's doing its shenanigans again. So I was thinking about this the
Yeah.
move that you said with the queen g8, and I was thinking on two squares, the f7 and the f6, the f7 and the f6 square, whether the king should go to f6 or f7. So I thought maybe the best the best way for black is to go to f6 because if the queen goes to g8, giving a check, then you can protect. You can rather block it with the rook on g7.
I see that you went
But that should
for queen
be
c5 there.
if white fails to prevent the g8 square. But now we can see that the queen went to f they went to e5, yeah, d5 rather.
That's c5. Yeah. Oh, that's actually a good move. A good find by
I
Pondo.
was thinking that if whether the knight was not there, you could do something crazy. If the knight was not there, you could do something crazy like yeah, like playing like playing something like yeah. Our venue is
Mr.
having a
Pressure, you
technical problem.
decided to keep the
So
queen
as soon as the
c5.
technicians have fixed it, then we'll be back on the show because there seems to be a lag between us. Mm.
Okay.
Rook to c8.
Yes. And now do you defend knight or do you go knight to e7? That's the
Up
best
to so far, Daniel
only
Pondo
way
has only
to
lost like one
defend.
game with Lizo yesterday. Today he held his own against Tato. Tato was playing the black pieces, and Daniel Pondo held his own. So if he can hold this one into a draw, then he's simply gonna get some decent rating. Because when I interviewed the guys this morning, the rating was one of the
Yeah,
most
yeah.
important things that
I see Wayne is back. Hello, Wayne.
mm,
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
What
you.
is the knight preventing there?
Hey,
Because I think after something like a queen to c4, exchanging the queens, you can have 3-on-2 majority, creating almost something like a pass pawn on the c file. So you're trying to exchange the pieces. You're trying to exchange the queen rather, and after exchanging the queen, it's gonna be nice for white because the rook on the 8th rank, it can easily go to 7th rank.
I think that moved on to a different game now.
can you hear me?
Hello, guys.
I
Yes,
can't hear
Ben, I
Wayne
can
or
hear you.
see him.
Hey, I think network is playing around with me now
I can see
since
Ben here.
after two.
Wayne,
I can hear both of you,
network taken this one.
but I can't hear Vusumisi properly. There's a lot of echo and background noise, but I can hear Ramase properly.
What is the echo from my side? From here.
Yeah, can you hear me? Fusmus, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, yeah, no, I can hear you properly, Ramase. But our other friend here, I can't hear properly. Has our FIDE master joined our commentary team yet? Mr. Mangu.
Daniele, he hasn't joined yet. I don't see him anywhere. I tried calling him, he's not replying, not answering. Hello? Hello?
So black just retook on b6. Black has three isolated pawns, pawn islands, and white has only two, while black is a pawn up. And I can see the plan of white is actually just to hold this game into a draw. Mm. If anyone wants to exchange queens, yes, it's black, not white. White. The game between Polani and Lizzo ended up in a draw, and Mr. Pesa and Daniel are still ongoing with their game. And Ah, queen to c1. I think it's yeah, it's resignable for white. Okay, Tato have resigned. So let me see what's happening on other games. Alfred Presa has won the game. Then Kolani Matebule and Lizo Sikwati have all agreed to a draw. Today's round was exciting, especially Kolani and uh, and Lizo agreeing to a draw after Lizo not wanting to castle. I guess it was his plan all along. Kolani have said he wanted to keep his bishop pair, so I think he's very fond of his bishop pair. But after this move to bishop a7, I think perhaps he could have went something like bishop f5, try to threaten the rook and the pawn on h4. I don't know what the other variations could have been, but I think the bishop on f4 was outright winning a pawn there. And after that, you have a passed h pawn, and you have a g pawn also that can easily create a pass pawn. But I think other factors came into play also, and Kolani had white rather had a queen on the seventh rank. So I think white could have slightly been better here. Not outright better, but white could have played on and see how the game would have progressed. Black with his 5 to 3 pawns. Perhaps black could have consolidated. Losing a pawn on h5 could have proven fatal, but I think black could have consolidated and held to a draw. So I don't know if there are gonna be any post-match interviews. I'm not sure if there are gonna be post-match interview, but I think all the games have ended. Mm. The score is Lizo Sikwati with 2 points, Kumalo Cave with 2 points, Mr. Pesa Mofoka had 1 point, and Kolani had also have a 1 point. And no, where am I reading? Uh, Lizo has 2 points rather. Has 2.5. Kumalo has 2.5. Pesa Mofoka has 1.5. Kolani Tebo has 1.5. Both Tato and Pondo have half a point after 3 rounds. So tomorrow's rounds is going to be quite exciting. Just trying to see who's gonna play who tomorrow. I think Pondo, Daniel, and Tato, they're not playing bad, especially for lower rated players. Being lower rated players, they're not actually playing bad. They held their own against these top class players. But we'll see how Pondo will do against Tato against Lizo and also Pondo against the CM. The CM is showing us how chess is actually played, especially with these endgame techniques. On the previous game, he had two bishops against two bishops of Kalani, and he managed to convert it with 1 pawn extra. And on this game also, he had 1 pawn extra with a queen pawn ending. So I think during the game, Tato could have probably uh, checked the king perpetually, but I don't think there was any. I think the king was on like in the middle of a desert that he could have checked. He could have been checked perpetually. I might be wrong, but I'll check on the engine. But I think the king could have been checked perpetually and not letting white, black rather, to find a safe square for his king. So I don't know why Daniel, on his game against Mr. Alfred, why did he resign? But I think it was due to because he has a minute and 11 seconds on his clock, and Mr. Pesa had 15 minutes, so which was going to be advantageous for him. And another point is two on one majority on the queen side, and yeah. So I think white is clearly better on this position. I think it's only because of it's only due to the time also, time being a paramount factor in his decision of resigning. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we have Daniel Ponte versus the CM. Lizzo Squati versus Tato Applegreen with black. Alfred Mpesa versus Kolani Matibile with black. I think that's it for today, guys. We'll meet again tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, see you then.